They never told you the war would be inside, not with fists, not with enemies, with thoughts. No one warned you that your mind could betray you, could turn on you, could cage you without a single chain. The world outside, with its visible threats and tangible challenges, teaches us to brace for impact, to prepare for external conflict. But the most insidious battles are fought on an unseen front, the battleground of your own consciousness. This is where the true adversaries reside, not in flesh and blood, but in the relentless, often deceptive, currents of your own thoughts. They told you to trust yourself, to follow your instincts, to listen to your inner voice. But no one ever told you that your mind lies. It's a master illusionist, a cunning storyteller. It crafts elaborate narratives of dread from thin air, manifesting fear from nothing. It paints vivid, agonizing pictures of failure before you even begin, paralyzing you with hypotheticals. It's a relentless echo chamber, replaying and amplifying the voices you thought you'd silenced years ago, criticisms, insecurities, past mistakes, until they sound like undeniable truths. And if you're not careful, if you don't stand guard at the gates of your perception, you start to believe them all. You absorb these internal fictions, allowing them to dictate your reality, shaping your actions, and ultimately defining your potential. Your mind, in its most primal, unfiltered state, wants control. It seeks to maintain equilibrium, to avoid risk, to preserve the familiar. And it's impossibly clever. It knows your patterns, your triggers, your deepest desires, and your most hidden vulnerabilities. It understands how your emotions link to your thoughts, and it leverages this connection with masterful precision. It knows exactly how to sound like truth, how to cloak its protective instincts in the guise of logic or certainty. It doesn't genuinely want growth, because growth implies change, and change is a deviation from its predictable, safe blueprint. It wants safety. It wants sameness. It craves the familiar, even if the familiar is a cage of stagnation. And it will tirelessly, cunningly sabotage you in the name of protection. It will convince you that comfort is peace, that inaction is wisdom, that potential is better left unexplored than risked. This is the critical juncture. If you don't take control of your mind, it will inevitably take control of you. And the consequences are insidious. It will meticulously build a life that looks perfectly acceptable, even desirable, on the outside. You might achieve conventional success, accumulate possessions, maintain a pleasant facade. But beneath the surface, you'll find it's rotting inside. A slow decay of purpose, passion, and genuine fulfillment. You'll find yourself smiling while you're breaking, presenting a composed, capable exterior to the world, while internally, you're fragmenting under the weight of unaddressed fears and unfulfilled desires. You'll stay quiet while you burn, suppressing your true voice, your authentic needs, your burning ambitions, for fear of disruption or judgment. You'll systematically avoid risk. You'll instinctively avoid change. And in a twisted act of self-deception, you'll call it peace. You'll rationalize complacency, categorize fear as prudence, and label stagnation as stability. But deep down in the quiet, honest chambers of your soul, you'll know the truth. You're being ruled not by destiny, not by external forces, but by internal tyrants, by thoughts that don't serve you, by fears that were never truly yours but inherited or imagined, by stories about who you are and what you're capable of that you didn't write. And here's the most liberating, yet challenging part no one wants to say. You don't have to believe everything you think. Let that sink in. Let it resonate through the layers of conditioning and automatic response. This single profound realization is the first step towards true freedom. Not every voice in your head is the truth. Not every thought deserves your unwavering respect, your immediate obedience, or your precious energy. Some are just echoes, reverberations from old wounds, past failures, or external opinions absorbed without question. Some are pure noise, random static, fleeting impulses, the mind's incessant chatter filling the void. Some are specifically designed by your own programming, your primal survival instincts, or even the remnants of societal conditioning to keep you small, to keep you safe, to keep you from daring to step beyond the known, even if the known is limiting. The mind itself is not your enemy. It is an extraordinary, complex, and powerful instrument. But like any powerful instrument, it is your responsibility. It is not meant to be the master of your destiny, but the most sophisticated tool in your arsenal. You must lead it, or it will lead you. You must master it, or it will master you. A weak mind always speaks first. It is reactive, impulsive, driven by comfort and immediate gratification. It complains constantly, finding fault in every circumstance, every person, and most devastatingly, in itself. It doubts relentlessly, sowing seeds of uncertainty that blossom into paralysis. It distracts mercilessly, pulling you away from meaningful work, difficult conversations, or necessary growth into the trivial and the easy. Its voice is loud, persistent, and often persuasive, demanding surrender to its anxieties and limitations. But a strong mind, a mind that has been forged and disciplined, it operates differently. It waits. It doesn't rush to judgment or immediate reaction. It takes a deliberate pause, creating space between stimulus and response. It watches. It observes thoughts, emotions, and external events with a calm, discerning awareness, understanding their nature without being consumed by them. It doesn't identify with every fleeting impulse. And then, only after careful observation and conscious deliberation, it executes. It acts with intention, purpose, and clarity, aligned with your higher values and goals. That's the difference. That subtle yet monumental shift from reaction to deliberate action. And that difference, forged in the crucible of daily choices, ultimately decides your future. It determines whether you live a life of passive response or active creation. You think discipline starts with the body, with the rigid adherence to diets, workout routines, or early mornings? Number, while those are manifestations of discipline, the true genesis, the very ignition point, it starts here, in the furnace of thought. In the quiet, often uncomfortable silence between impulse and action. It begins when you recognize a destructive thought or a debilitating urge, and instead of blindly following it, you consciously choose a different path. This is where the mental reps are done, where the true strength is built. The strongest people you'll ever meet don't possess perfect thoughts, serene minds devoid of negativity. That's a myth. They are human, just like you, subject to the same internal chatter and external pressures. But what they possess are controlled ones. They have cultivated the capacity to observe, to challenge, and to redirect their mental landscape. They still feel fear, a primal, undeniable human emotion. But they move anyway. They understand fear is a signal, not a stop sign. They still feel anger, the surge of frustration, injustice, or violation. But they choose response, not reaction. They channel that energy, transforming it from destructive rage into constructive action or calm assertion. They still feel doubt, the insidious whisper of not enough or too hard. But they don't stop. They acknowledge the doubt, but they don't let it anchor them. They keep going, one deliberate step after another. Control is not the absence of emotion. It's not about becoming numb or stoic in a detached sense. Rather, it's the presence of command. It's the conscious assertion of your will over the often unruly nature of your internal world. It's the subtle yet profound act of leadership over your own mind, ensuring it serves your highest intentions rather than derailing them. And the only way to build this profound inner command, this mastery, is to sit in the fire, to willingly enter the uncomfortable spaces of self-awareness, to face the noise head-on, to not shy away from the torrent of thoughts, good or bad, that surge through your consciousness, to notice the thought and let it pass, to recognize it for what it is, a fleeting mental event, rather than an unassailable truth that demands your immediate belief and action. This is the core realization. You are not your cravings. You are not your trauma. You are not your fear. These are experiences, sensations, memories, or impulses that flow through you. They are not you. You are the one behind it all. You are the awareness, the consciousness, the silent observer capable of discernment and choice. And when you truly remember that, when this understanding sinks into the very fiber of your being, everything changes. Because suddenly, you don't have to act on every fleeting feeling. You gain a crucial pause, a vital space for contemplation. You don't have to speak every impulsive thought. You cultivate discretion and wisdom, understanding the power of silence. You don't have to react instinctively to every trigger. You reclaim your power, choosing a deliberate, measured response instead of an automatic, often regrettable, reaction. You can observe. You can witness the internal drama unfold without being consumed by it. You can breathe. You can ground yourself in the present moment, finding stability amidst internal turbulence. You can choose. This capacity for choice is the ultimate expression of human freedom, the key to unlocking your true potential. That's freedom. That's power. That's the beginning of mastery. Not a destination, but an ongoing process, and it doesn't happen once in a single grand epiphany. It happens every day. It happens in the mundane, seemingly insignificant moments that build upon each other, brick by mental brick. When you wake up and feel heavy, burdened by invisible weights of inertia or anxiety, but move anyway. You override the comfort-seeking programming of your mind. When your mind says skip it, you're tired, it's not worth it, and you show up anyway. You honor your commitment to yourself, even when enthusiasm wanes. When everything within you screams quit, this is too hard, I can't, and you whisper go. You find the deeper well of resilience, the quiet determination that overrides the clamor of doubt. Because that's what it means to train your mind, to forge it, to bend it, not to the will of others, but to the will of your higher self, your purpose, your vision, to build it into a weapon, a finely tuned instrument for navigating the complexities of life, for achieving your goals, for creating the reality you desire. Not a weight dragging you down with its fears and limitations. You want to be unstoppable. You want to break free from the invisible chains that bind so many. It starts here, with the very next moment, with the moment you decide, I don't serve my thoughts. They serve me. So the next time your mind says, you can't, look it straight in the eye and with unwavering resolve say, watch me. The next time it whispers, you're not ready, stand tall, take a deep breath and command, I lead, you follow. Because that's the fundamental truth no one explicitly teaches in schools, in workplaces, or even in many homes. Your mind is not you. It's the tool, and you are the force, the consciousness, the decision maker, the master of your own internal universe.